Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Timing pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
Why wouldn't you? Doesn't mean you got to take exactly what they're recommending, but it does mean they can be part of it. You agree with that?
It's loud in the studio. I do agree with that, but at the same time, a lot of times these individuals, once again, the ego gets into it. Not saying it's going to be the case for him, but the ego gets into it to where I want this to be my decision, whether it's right or wrong. I want it to be my decision. I would like to get the credit. This is what we're doing. I'm bringing in X, Y, and Z, coach this, that, and the third. So that's what happens, as opposed to, well, you know what? Appreciate you. Let's have T.J. Duckett come along with Mateen Cleaves and Plaxico Burress and hell, we can go get a Kurt Gibby. We can get Gibby. Let's have these guys sit in as a collective. You guys sit on the interview process. You guys see what you think about this person. What do you think? What are your thoughts? No, because it's going to be, well, these guys help hire insert coach, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
And nobody's passing up any chance to take credit.
I guess we had some technical difficulties, but Kool-Aid and Brendan and Spenny were able to fix it. So thank you for that, and thanks for being patient. And we also understand some of the smart-ass comments within the chat, and I understand that, and it's okay, okay? Although the one person who said better without sound, I don't know what the hell you want to watch for then. Just tune out, okay? Let's get to the Lions from last night. And the Lions,
better without sound.
Yeah, it's better without sound. Just leave.
I just never understand it. Then what's keeping you here?
He could be an angry elf.
Like, what's keeping you here?
Could be an angry elf.
The Lions pissed you off? Like, all right, we'll sit tight. We'll fix it for you.
It's okay. Yeah, listen, nothing you're going to say is going to bother him or me, okay? So just goodbye. That's okay. Move on. Go someplace else. It's not going to hurt our feelings. Trust me. It's been a lot worse in our lives, okay, at times.
True.
So let's talk about the worst-case scenario from last night, and that is the Lions' offense. So let's be a smart aleck here for a moment. All kinds of problems against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Let's take the play calling away from John Morton. Rightfully so, by the way.
Yeah.
It's fixed against a Washington team that you said, and that chair, Shep, they ranked 29th in total defense. Let's not get too carried away. Now people didn't like the play calling from Dan Campbell last night. Now what?
It's tough because this is the guy that's going to be calling the plays. If you don't like it, well, sit back, relax. You clamored for Johnny Morton to be gone, and like you said, rightfully so. You can't take it from John. I mean, you can't take it from Dan. Where do you go from there?
Right.
And you can't take it back from him and give it to a guy that did not have success, and also – it was against the Eagles, if that means anything. It was windy outside, if that means anything. I'm being funny at this particular point. But they're going to have to figure out some things. And it starts here, though, Shep. We can talk about Jared Goff. We will have that conversation because he didn't have a good game. Mm-hmm. But it starts with that offensive line.
Yeah.
Like, it starts with the offensive line. You cannot have the type of success that the Lions are used to in the regular season, some of the postseason, without the type of offensive line that they had. And we've been watching it. We saw it. We saw it against the Green Bay Packers, and then the excuse was it's the beginning of the season, it's on the road, trying to figure some things out. We don't play in the preseason. All right, cool. You start to rock and roll. You have some success against some less than teams at the time, and then you play against the Chiefs. And once again, there's a lack of effort. There's movement. There's getting to the quarterback. There's Jared Goff getting antsy because the pressure's there. There's the Vikings game where you see it again. Brian Flores dialed it up. And they struggled again and actually got outmanned that game, if I'm being honest. And then once again against the Eagles, who are a damn good defense, dare I say, best defense in the NFC, maybe them and the Seahawks. They just out-physical the Detroit Lions. But also what they added the anticipation for Jared Goff in the short-arm throws, the throws over the middle. They didn't just go running in with reckless abandonment like, we'll just rush the quarterback, head down, try to get there. No, we have a plan. On second down, we know the balls are probably going to be thrown over the middle, probably 5-yard throws. So we'll boom, boom, step back, jump up. Yeah. How many knockdowns did you get last night? 7.
Yeah.
You had 7. You had 3
Jordan Davis had
3 from Davis, 2 from Carter, and 2 amongst the rest of the defensive line. They had a plan. Vic Fangio, one of the outstanding defensive coordinators in the last 20 years in the NFL.
Might be the best with Steve Spagnuolo. The other thing they did was, they didn't just run roughshod over the offensive line. No. They ran roughshod over everybody. Okay, so when you got Nakobe Dean
that
coming
means 58 too.
When Nakobe Dean's coming in and he just blows up David Montgomery, right? When they're going for it on fourth down and you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown matched up with the defensive end, I can't figure out that philosophy, to be honest with you.
Yesterday was an interesting it was interesting because the offensive line, we've seen them lose battles throughout the course of the season, but you haven't seen the whole total offense just lose like that. Yesterday, it was the entire offense. I'm talking about Quinyon Mitchell. I haven't seen Amon-Ra St. Brown cover like that ever.
Yeah.
Like Quinyon Mitchell was everywhere that he needed to be in that coverage. Cooper DeJean was the same way. N'Kobe Dean, you're talking about, he came in, ran right into Dave Montgomery. Dave Montgomery falls into Jared Goff. Jared Goff goes down. And you know what type of power, you know what type of reckless abandonment that you have to play with to create that type of force? Look at Jalen Phillips. Everybody, here we go, back to the trade deadline. They make a move for Jaden Phillips last week. You saw him start to take some strides against the Packers. But, Shep, we talked about it before the show. He just looked like a man-child out there. He looked like a guy that had new energy, a guy that was playing violent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing him get through double teams much like I'm expecting 97 for our team to get through double teams, and I didn't get a chance to see it. So they just played with the type of physical dominance that they knew what this game meant to them. Just as a defense going against our offense, they could care less about what Jalen Hurts in that offense, which was not very much. They could care what they had going on. They knew it was about them shutting down Jared Goff in that offense, and they did that in spades.
Yeah, I like that. You're 100% right about that. With I was watching, a little bit of the Browns game too, so I was just bopping all over the place. But I thought the same thing about Myles Garrett. So he's the standard.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether people believe it or not, him and T.J. Watt are the standard.
Another
for the most
4
part,
sacks and a loss.
And he had 4 sacks and he had 5 tackles for loss. And he stood out against Baltimore. They lost 23-16.
Yeah.
They stink. They're 2-8. They're not going anywhere. We know that. He's relegated to purgatory. His fault because he signed the extension. So don't get me wrong. I'm not feeling sorry for him. But he stood out. And when I watch them play, and it's painful, but when I watch them play, and they're mentioning his name on a regular basis, not because of how good he's been, but because of how good he is. I want to see that from 97. And I think that's a fair request considering the amount of money that he's making and the type of capital they've invested in him.
Yeah, 100%. You talk about Jalen Hurts. Talk about Jalen Carter. He plays 86% of the plays for a defensive tackle. Shep, that's a ton.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy work, crazy talented. But you hear him. He comes up. He comes up in the run games. He comes up in the pass game. He gets sacks. You hear his name a little bit more often. With Aiden Hutchinson, he's playing 91% of the snaps. Let that sink in for a second. It's great that he can play 91% of our snaps. I appreciate that from our second pick overall in 2021. Now, the other side of that is where the play is at. Where the plays being made, where the tackles in the backfield, where they're getting to Jalen Hurts. Because even though Jalen Hurts was ugly yesterday, he dropped back 28 times.
Yeah.
He dropped back 28 times. So at some point, it has to look different. And we can't be saying that all year long because, Shep, we started doing the show, it feels like yesterday, right? We've already played 10 games. We're going into week 12 now. The season is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and we're still trying to figure out who exactly is this Detroit Lions team in totality.
I remember early last week, you and I talked about whether you like it or not, statement wins. All right? You're looking for the one win on a schedule that forces everybody else to look at you and say, see, they're coming. Okay? That's a team that you got to watch out for. There's going to be a reckoning here. And the Lions still don't have it. Now, I'm not saying every team does. People in the chat are talking about, hey, how good the Pistons are. They've been awesome. 9 straight wins. Where's that? Where is that win? Okay? It's nowhere. But they play 82 games. Okay? It'll be there eventually. Maybe it's against Houston from earlier this year. I don't know. But it's not like during this 9-game stretch it's been like, oh, my God, I can't believe they beat this team and this team and this team. Dallas and Washington. Who cares, right? But they've got 82 games to try and maneuver that. Detroit's it's a much more finite window of games that you can judge. You can say what you want about Philadelphia. Look at their wins, whether it be Tampa, whether it be Kansas City, whether it be the Rams, whether it be Green Bay, whether it be Detroit. They've got 5 high-quality wins right now. And I think Detroit is still looking for theirs. We still haven't found it.
Yeah, what that tells me, and we talked about this last Thursday, we broke it down. What that tells me is, the offense may be very inconsistent. And, for as much as A.J. Brown, he cries wolf and he complains, how about you get your ass open before you talk about it, okay? Stop giving up on routes if you're going to be complaining to the media all the time. But I digress because it's not about him. Their defense is so good, it keeps them in games. it allows Jalen Hurts to stew around forever. It allows them to struggle with the offensive line and Saquon Barkley and run the ball until they find that one touchdown or they find those 2 plays. It was ugly against Green Bay.
Yeah.
But because that defense is so good, eventually, that's how the defense plays. It's not about the offense. It ain't about what they do, and I use aim for effect. It's about us. We'll just keep stopping them until eventually Jalen Hurts connects to Devontae Smith. Eventually Saquon Barkley breaks that run off the right sideline, which might be a little bit harder since Lane Johnson's out. But they stay in the games because of the defense, and eventually they will figure it out. The Detroit Lions aren't that blessed right now. That offense, yeah, it's good sometimes. That defense, it's good sometimes. We don't know where we are. Where's our strength?
Yeah.
The Eagles have a strength, and it's the defense, and they are locked and loaded.
100%. The identity of this team, we love that word
That's
in
been the
sports.
question all season.
Jameer Gibbs.
Well, the identity last year obviously was the offensive line, okay, and we knew it was going to take a hit.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have, if we can give this team an identity just yet. And somebody in the chat said this. He goes, "This is why it pisses me off. We are 10 games in, and all I hear is we need to figure it out. We're 1 play away. We'll get better." It's been 5 years now. I completely relate to that frustration. I really do. Yeah. The only thing I would ask you is this. Before the season began, this is why I use expectations a lot in life. Before the season began, what was your expectation? I think you said 11 wins or 12. I said 13.
I had him 12.
Okay, I had 13. That means at some point they were going to lose 4 games.
Yeah.
Now, I sure didn't expect it to be 6-4, so I'm not going to. But could I see them winning their last 7 games, considering their competition? Damn right I could, without question. I think they're going to win their next 3. Okay, when they got the Giants at home, they got the Packers on Thanksgiving, but a quick turnaround against Dallas at home too.
I'm glad you said that. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You said we're going to win our next. We could win 7. Respectfully so. You look at the schedule. You look at how this laid out, and maybe one of them out in SoFi might be a little bit
That'll
interesting.
be tough, right?
But outside of that, just looking at the record, I mean, looking at the in terms of the schedule and who they play, the defensive lines is what's destroying the Lions right now.
Yep,
defensive lines is what's giving us the most problems.
Correct.
So looking at the schedule coming up, yeah, it's like, you're playing the Giants. Giants aren't that bad. Giants' defensive front is real.
It is good. Very
Giants'
good.
defensive front is real. Then you got to turn around and see the Cowboys' defensive front, which isn't that good, but the offense is.
Right.
Look at the Chicago.
Well, you got Green Bay in between there.
Hey, Green Bay.
Who's
Green
already
Bay.
beaten them. Yeah.
Chicago. Got the Vikings again. All these defensive fronts that we had to play. So, yeah, the teams as a whole, yeah, we match up well. We should be able to beat most. But the defensive lines is what I'm looking at for the teams that remain. We play some really good defensive lines. And what I saw against Kansas City, the Vikings.
And now this Philly against Philly.
It's
scary.
That's cause for concern.
Absolutely.
Very scary.
I'm not predicting they're winning 7. I'm saying,
yeah, no, for
could
sure.
you see it? Absolutely. A lot has to be fixed, but I do believe they have the capability to do that. That's all I'm saying.
I think a lot of people, though, they're thinking about the playoffs right now. Can they get there? Can they win these games right now? Yes, but how have they looked against the teams that they're going to be measured up against when everything counts? And that, to me, is what leads me to be a little bit weary about.
Can you explain what do you mean by everything counts?
Yeah, effectively when you get to the playoffs. To start the season, a lot of people were like, hey, wake me when we get to the playoffs. Because everybody thought we're going to waltz to 12, 13 wins.
Sure.
And then when it really matters, that's when we're going to wake up and pay attention. But if you're paying attention to this regular season, the types of teams that they're going to face in the playoffs, they're losing those battles right now. You've said it all along. What is that signature win? And that, to me, is what has me a little bit more apprehensive than probably the Brad Holmes and the Brad Holmes bots, as my old guy Flannel would say, the real good people. I'm not necessarily good because they're lining up against teams that are going to bring that punishment on the defensive line. And now it seems like every team with a brain knows, even if we don't have those horses on the defensive line, still attack them.
Yeah, I get it. I understand the concern. All I'm saying is I could envision them possibly doing it if they could fix some things. And somebody brought up a really good point. The Dallas interior defense is really scary. Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams,
100%.
just as scary as some others. Excellent point.
Yeah.
Very valid point. Okay, hoping that yes, Detroit's going to get a little healthier. I'm not using injuries as an excuse by any
That
stretch.
is true, though.
But
That's a factor.
I do believe there's some guys who are going to help this team defensively. Who's going to help them offensively? Now, the complaint that I heard a lot from this morning, and understandably so, Brad Holmes didn't do enough to fix the offensive line.
Good.
I would remind you, well, he said that about the defensive line, if you recall.
Yeah.
You look at history from
Yeah.
2020, is it 2021 or 2021, I believe. There's at the trade deadline, I think there's been only 8 offensive linemen who've been acquired at the trade deadline. And I think it goes back further than that. I think I got the wrong year. You can verify that. I think it's the wrong year. So it's not something that's easy to acquire.
Yeah.
Other teams have.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they shouldn't have. I'm just wondering what could they have done that would have satisfied us. For me, absolutely. You and I were calling for Jalen Phillips for a long time, okay? Remember, it was a 3rd-round pick. Yeah. Detroit doesn't have one.
Yeah.
How do you get creative? That's the thing that I think a lot of people want to look at. This goes back to this, this whole belief of a window for this team, and he didn't do some things that everybody wanted him to do, and it hasn't so far paid off just yet.
No, it hasn't. It's not necessarily about what you can do now. It's about Brad Holmes' job is to put his team in a situation where if things like this occur, you're prepared for it. You're ready for it. Going into the season, you knew that you wouldn't have Frank Ragnow. You knew you wouldn't have Kevin Zeitler. You knew you were drafting Tate Baligian. You knew you were moving Graham Glasgow to your center, and you were starting Christian Mahogany as your left guard. Mm-hmm. You didn't know if that was going to work. Mm-hmm. So this is what you do. Let me keep eyes on offensive linemen that I can potentially bring to this team if bleep hits the fan.
Right.
Well, congratulations. It has currently hit the fan. That's what it looks like. So where's the next move? Where's the gun in? Where's the bullet in the chamber? Where's the preparation for a moment like this? Where's the expertise in a GM that we've given so much credit to, rightfully so? But this isn't one of those times. Mm-hmm. That's what you can do. You can prepare for a situation because you knew that this was coming. Mm-hmm. It wasn't some unforeseen thing, and all of a sudden we're at the trade deadline like, wow, our offensive line is bad. How'd that happen?
Right.
We kind of knew that this could be the thing. Our center told us he's more comfortable at right guard.
Yeah.
That's his favorite position is what he said. Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
So
No, you're preaching, Brady.
2002, by the way. I'm sorry. 2002, 8 offensive linemen since the trade deadline. I said 21.
Whole life.
Since 2002.
there you
Since
go,
2002, there's been 8 offensive linemen
Not a
traded
lot.
at the trade deadline.
No, you guys
great.
are preaching, and I just wanted to add on that because every time you ask what was the Lions' best position, it was the offensive line. The reason why I'm a little bit disappointed that he didn't bolster that a little bit more while we're in the middle of a Super Bowl window or garage is because it's not the lineup that you want to have to say that is. It's the one that has to be. It's not just by happenstance, he just so happened to put together. No, Jared Goff needs that line to be good. And so when you're talking about all of these teams who've already, the ones that have solved you, what have they done? They punished you when you did have Zeitler and those guys on the offensive line. They knew how to, that if we're going to beat them, it's getting the Goff. And that's what leaves me a little bit little disappointed.
I totally get that. Now, I am not glossing over this fact, all right? So please don't take it this way. I just think it's important to take this note. When people talk about pressure and people talk about Jared Goff's inability to move and everything, who's been sacked more than anybody else in the NFL? Anybody know?
a Russian quarterback.
Cam Ward. Cam Ward, 41 times. All right, Cam Ward
Power stats.
is right. You know who's second? Drake May, 38.
Yeah.
You know who's third? Justin Herbert, not real mobile. Geno Smith, 27. Justin Fields, 27, just got benched. All right, Jalen Hurts has been sacked 26 times. Daniel Jones. So sometimes those numbers can be very misleading, and you've taught me that, and I get it.
There's a difference with that, too, though. Understanding that those mobile quarterbacks, 100%, they do get sacked just as much as Jared Goff, but what happens is those mobile quarterbacks still can make things happen.
Yeah.
They still have those plays where they get off point, they get off kilter, and they still can make things happen.
Right.
The second Jared Goff gets off kilter, it's going to be a bad play.
And by the way, sometimes those sacks are because they're moving outside the pocket, which is something Jared Goff doesn't do super well. Obviously.
Which is what we talked about. Like, matter of fact, what do we talk about in terms of one quarterback that's playing so well? And I said, I got to wait to see he plays on his defense, and that was Sam Darnold.
Yes.
4 interceptions later.
Yeah. Don't steal my Braylon's bum, please. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me. Today we got Braylon's ballers and bums.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just one of those things for Detroit Lions yesterday, and they missed Sam Laporta. Like
I'm glad you said that.
They
We talked
missed
about that on the show.
Sam
We
Laporta
said
a lot.
Yep.
Like, he is a damn good offensive tight end. Sorry, kids. He is a darn good tight end in this league, 100%. And you saw it because they were looking for him. A lot of the plays Anyway,
well, it's not just that. I think it's his blocking as much as anything else.
100%.
His interior blocking, it's
miss him
huge.
tremendously. Getting to that fact, yesterday was one of those days where everything that could rear its ugly head, everything that was potentially a conversation, everything, whether it was Jared Goff if he doesn't have enough time, whether it was the offensive line, whether it was the running game, being able to run between the tackles, everything showed itself. Whether it was the fourth downs and going for it too much, and eventually that could come back. Everything that could went wrong, and it was one of those days.
Yeah.
Like, everything went wrong.
Yeah, it's well said. Love for your thoughts in the chat. We'll get to as much as we possibly can. We want to make sure your voice is heard, so we greatly appreciate you taking some time with us today on the Braylon Edwards Show. We will talk specifically about Jared Goff on the back end. Jared Goff is a guy, anytime this team struggles offensively, that's where the blame goes. Is it fair? We'll get to that after this from Martin Jakes and Ven Johnson.
Corporations, the government, even your insurance company will do whatever they can to withhold their liability and withhold your compensation. Don't let that happen. First thing you do is you contact Ven Johnson Law. And how you do that, reach out to venfights.com. He is the fighter. He's been fighting for a very long time. Let him fight for you, whether it's a verdict or a settlement. It doesn't matter. He wants all the smoke. They are trial attorneys. That means they want all the smoke, man. Let Ven Johnson Law represent you today.
It's Monday night. It's not just Monday Night Football, but it's rib night at Art and Jake's Sports Bar and Grill. Get to one of their 6 locations in the state of Michigan. Enjoy wall-to-wall coverage on their 80 TVs. That's right, I said 80 TVs. It's like Kool-Aid's Basement. 22 draft beers on tap. A menu stacked with fan favorites like wings and wraps, and of course, their signature Fairway Burgers. It is delicious, and tonight it is rib night. Download the Art and Jake's app, join AJ's fan club, and make every game day a winning day. Perfect place to watch the Pistons tonight and Monday Night Football. Enjoy.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Fitness where your fitness is essential. With over 2,700 locations around the nation and 50 in metropolitan Detroit, this is the gym for you because it does it better than anybody else. There's no judgment here. So you come on down, you work to the beat of your own drum, and trainers will help you because they have trainers on staff for every type of membership that you have. Now, let's get to the Lions point. You want to go tickets to see the Lions, 2 tickets for any home game. What you got to do is you go to Planet Fitness, you go inside and you register in Planet Fitness, and maybe you can get tickets to see the Lions coming up because I believe that Thanksgiving game is right around the corner and tickets are still available for that. So just go on to Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, the clean gyms, they got the no judgment. It's the gym for you. Planet Fitness where your fitness is.
That'll be big, too, that Thanksgiving Day game against the Packers, who are 6-3-1 and have a 45% chance of winning the NFC North. Detroit is second at 34%. Are we overreacting? We'll get to that here on the Braylon Edwards Show in a moment. You never overreact when you've got Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. It's so delicious. Only 100 calories for you. Real vodka, real iced tea, no bubbles. It's clean. It's a crisp sip that's not going to fill you up on game day or any other day. Perfect for tailgates, perfect for friends over, especially during the holidays. So this season, let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser and Woodward Sports. Please drink responsibly.
And we back.
Anytime the Lions lose, even maybe even some of the unimpressive wins, the focus goes to the quarterback. This is all part of the job. Okay? Sorry, it just is. I don't think Detroit is any more unique than any other market. The lack of belief now in Jared Goff might be at an all-time high because of what we saw against Minnesota and because recently what we saw against Kansas City and what we've seen against Philadelphia. I think a lot of people have pushed Green Bay out of their minds because it was the first game of the season. You got some people in new positions, especially a rookie right guard and a rookie left tackle. They almost understand that. But ever since the game against Chicago and you saw what they did against Baltimore, I think there's a belief that, okay, this team should be able to go on a run.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's at an all-time low in people's belief with Jared Goff. I don't think it's necessarily fair, but I do believe it's at an all-time low. How do you look at people's reactions to Detroit's starting quarterback?
I think their offensive line was horrible yesterday, and the offensive line in most of their losses has been bad. So when your offensive line is bad, a quarterback that depends on the offensive line to provide him protection, because everything that we say about Jared Goff is if given time, Jared Goff can pick you apart. And it sounds sexy when you say it, but it sounds sexy when it happens.
Yeah.
But see, when you don't give Jared Goff time, yesterday is typically what tends to happen, especially when you have a defensive line that's that good as the Eagles were last night. So it's not one of those things where people should overreact. It's just this is what it is. Like, this has always been, if you give Jared Goff time, which for the past 4 years they have. They've had Kevin Zeitler. They've had Frank Ragnow. You had Taylor Decker a little bit more, actually a lot more healthy than he is this season. You had Penei Sewell ascending to that point. So you've had that for the better part of 4 years. You know, and in there you've had some other offensive linemen that were Pro Bowl offensive linemen. Jonah
Jackson.
100%.
Yeah.
So you've had that. But you've had some moments when there's no Frank Ragnow, or you've had some moments where Taylor Decker's been out, and you've seen some chinks in armor. This year you're seeing a lot more because this offensive line to start the season healthy is nowhere near as good as the offensive line has been. And now that you have this offensive line that's already not as good is banged up. Offensive linemen are missing. Now you're down to your second and third string linemen on an offensive line that's not good. So you really have to start there before we talk to Jared Goff. Now, Goff's going to be Goff when you don't give him time. He's not going to be able to extend plays. He's not going to be able to get out of the pocket and throw passes down the field like Baker Mayfield, some of these other quarterbacks that can move. Justin Herbert, that can move just enough. Justin Herbert can get out of the pocket. He can get you 12 yards if everybody is committing to the blitz and there's an open spot. That's not what Jared Goff can do. But we know this. We paid him $53 million a year knowing this. So games like last night can't happen, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, well, Jared can't do this, he can't do this. Newsflash. Jared Goff has been and always will be who he is.
Let's play a little game here, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you guys on a scale of 1 to 10, 2 questions about your believability. Ready? Okay.
Right.
Braylon, believability in the Lions, 1 to 10, where is it?
5.
Kool-Aid.
7.
Brandon.
I have to agree with Kool-Aid, probably 7.
Okay, mine's a little higher, 8. All right. Now, believability in Jared Goff, Kool-Aid.
Oh, golly. 6.
6?
6.
Brendan?
7 again.
Yeah, I would say about 7. Braylon?
5.
Okay.
Ooh.
I believe in them equally because they're connected.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're all close with our rankings with the team and the quarterback.
Yeah. Gosh, this is a great exercise.
Yeah, I wonder where that would have been after last week. Now, in fairness to him, he said right away, he's like, be careful. Don't read too much into this win over a bad Washington defense.
Much like what's going to happen this coming week coming up. We know what's going to happen. They're going to play the New York Giants, who also have a really good defensive line. They have a really good D front for all first-round draft picks. But they're going to beat the Giants, and then it's going to come back just like they beat the Commanders, and then it's going to come back. It's not about winning for me that changes the narrative. It's not about necessarily beating teams in the NFL. Getting a win is always important. It's only 32 teams, so when you get one, celebrate it. It's important. But it's the teams that you're beating. It's how you're beating them. What does that win look like against the Giants?
And how you're losing.
Do they struggle all game and then pull it off just because they're a better team overall than the Giants in the end, and they beat the Giants by 10, and now we have to go into Green Bay has to come here, and we know what Green Bay's defensive side is. Once again, the offensive side, lot of question marks on that side. They have not been the same since Tucker Kraft. But that defensive line is just much like the defensive line that we saw last night, and they create problems.
Interesting. Mike G says 5. Ease underscore, I think it's JII, 8.5.
The question is, what is the belief in the Lions has to do with the playoffs? Sure. Obviously, it's the playoffs. Doing what are you going to do in the playoffs? How far are you going to playoffs? When I'm looking at the playoffs, I'm looking at the teams that are going to be there, correct? All right, here we go. The Rams, they're not beating the Rams right now. The Seahawks, they're not beating the Seahawks right now. The Eagles just proved what they could do last night. In the wind blew for both teams yesterday. Right. Jalen Hurts sucked. And Jared Goff sucked. So what did you get? Who defense was the best? It seems like
Tennessee sucks. Sorry, every time he says sucks, I think Vanderbilt sucks. Man, Tennessee sucks
because they do. And also, you stick with the NFC rest, the 49ers.
That wouldn't concern me.
I'm being funny right now at this point.
How about Tampa?
When I'm looking at it, Tampa's getting guys back as well. Just like we're saying the Lions are getting people back. Tampa's going to get players back.
Formidable.
And
they also look like you could run all over them, too.
True,
okay,
true.
Go ahead.
True. We haven't necessarily been doing that too well, but
that's true.
But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Right now where the Lions are at, I don't have much belief that they can beat those top 3 teams. Now, anybody under that, sure.
I hear you.
Those top 3 teams, I don't have a belief because that offensive line right now, it's so far in comparison to what they have been.
Completely understand.
And it's legitimately and this is no knock to the city. Look, I love you guys. I want the Lions to do as well as you do. The weapons that we have cannot be the weapons that we have if we cannot get protection up front. It's the same thing that we said when they lost to the Vikings. Like, it's the same thing we said against the Chiefs. It's the same thing we said at the beginning of the season, regardless if it was opening night or not, and if we didn't play in the preseason. If you can't protect Jared Goff, if you can't establish the run, Amon-Ra St. Brown does not matter.
Play action doesn't mean
J-Mo
squat
speed
last night.
Does not matter.
The play
none
action,
of that matters.
None of it mattered. None of it mattered because you couldn't establish it. And look, just because we admit there's a flaw or we want to be proven a little bit more right doesn't mean you're a hater and doesn't mean you can't stand a team. We love our teams, okay? Love the Wings, love the Pistons, love the Tigers, love the Lions, love them all. It doesn't mean you can't bring out, well, you know what, I would like to be proven a little bit more than what I've been proven right now. Nobody necessarily bought in the Wings right away on a 5-game winning streak. Yeah. We liked the way they were playing. I love the Pistons. I love Cade Cunningham. I'm glad he's got his own shoe. J.B. Bickerstaff, I said from day one, is the best coach for this team at this time. I think Trajan Langdon's the real deal. I think Jalen Duren is going to be a star in this league. Cade Cunningham's already a superstar. But just because I'm saying, I'd like to see him play a couple of other teams before I get caught up in it, it's okay. It doesn't mean you're a hater. It just means you want something a little bit more. Same thing with the Lions.
I don't want. Let's not play the go back game, but let's go back for a second. Okay. Let's play. The thing that pisses me off so much in terms of watching the Lions so far this season, as it just relates to the offensive line, is this was a kind of like we knew all of this in January. You knew all this in January. You knew who was leaving. You knew who was retiring. You knew who you weren't going to pay. Like,
did they know Zeitler? I don't think they knew Zeitler was retiring in January. Okay, it came a little bit closer to.
They should have paid him. You talking about Ragnow?
Ragnow. I'm sorry.
Ragnow.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, Ragnow, and then Zeitler was he got signed for $9 million, I believe, in Tennessee.
And they should have paid that $9 million because going back to this, and this is why I say let's go back to February. Then, like once you knew it had hit the fan. What has the Lions been best at? You brought it up. It's offensive line. And they've known that since they drafted Penei Sewell when we thought we already had a good offensive line. Yo, we'll get Penei Sewell. Why are you going to get Penei Sewell? You can get Jamar Jefferson to spit on somebody, or you can get – or Jamar Chase is what I mean. You can get Jamar Chase, or you can get Micah Parsons. They went with the offensive lineman even though they pretty much had a pretty good unit.
Yeah.
They stacked the unit. The unit becomes one of the best in the NFL. You pay a quarterback based off this offensive line being that good, and the running game takes off. The play action takes off to the point where Jared Goff becomes the best play action quarterback in the game. You know this is how you win. Mm-hmm. And in February of this year, you decided to say – no thank you to paying the guy last year that was phenomenal in Kevin Zeitler. You don't go pay a center to back up Frank Ragnow. You decide to, we'll just move a guy into that spot. You can't just move a guy into that spot. You had the best offensive line in the last 4 years, you and the Eagles. And if you want to give it to the Eagles, fine. You had the number 2 offensive line in the last 4 or 5 years. You can't just move a guy. Hey, you move here. Hey, we'll just draft this guy from Georgia and maybe make him a center, maybe make him a guard. You can't play that game.
In fairness, Glasgow has played there before.
True.
With the Lions. But to your point, remember, they started Ratledge there.
But it was like, we need to spare Frank.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we need to spare Frank against the Saints. We'll beat the Saints. We'll be fine. Or insert team here. It's not, hey, this is the permanent move. Hey, this is the new starting spot. Like this has been your nucleus. This has been your nucleus.
Yeah. So originally what I thought was, okay, if you're going to try Ratledge at center, okay, and it was only a couple of days, I think. But if you're going to start him there and you want Mahogany to be your left guard, that means to me, Graham Glasgow's either A, your right guard, or B, he would be your backup guy if you had a more legitimate guy there at the right guard spot. If you had re-signed Zeitler, and I don't know what that would have done to their financial ramifications, but let's face it, they've got a lot of money since the trade deadline. They had a lot of money, the 4th most, I believe, in the NFL. They've obviously re-upped with Aiden Hutchinson or extended Aiden Hutchinson. It's 1 year, man. Okay, it's 1 year. Zeitler was your right guard. Ratledge is your center. Left guard's your Mahogany. And Glasgow's your swing guy who can play just about any of those positions. I think that would have been a lot better situation than what they have right now.
Yeah, the situation that they're in right now, like this is why I don't have belief in them, is because I don't believe in Jared Goff behind this offensive line. Like the way this offensive line is acting right now, you need Joe Burrow.
Well, you know what else? To your point,
a healthy Joe Burrow.
Every other team probably thinks the same way. What is it that Minnesota did so well? You broke it down. They just feasted on the A-gap, didn't they? Okay?
Stayed there.
What did Philly do? They took away the short passes, like you said. In other words, they knew that Detroit's method of operandi was, we've got to get the ball out quickly because our offensive line cannot sustain blocks. They played right into their hands of Philadelphia's defense.
And their weapon to counteract that, that they can get on the outside where they don't have to throw in the middle of the field and you can't knock the pass down. Guess what? He's on the IR right now, and that's Sam Laporta.
Right.
Sam Laporta is the guy that you can get to on the outside. He can beat man coverage. He can beat safeties as well as linebackers. He gives you open windows and space to get him the ball. Like Brock Wright, look, respect. He's not Sam Laporta. He's not Sam Laporta, and you saw that last night. So when you don't have Sam Laporta to help in that, it takes even more from this offensive line.
Yeah, somebody had said name some Chicago Bears offensive linemen, and look at they're 7-3 to lead the way. Joe Tooney's the first name that comes to mind because of how good he was. And Jonah Jackson, the former Lion, is another one that comes to mind. And Drew Dahlman, their center. Okay, so I don't know all their offensive linemen. I don't necessarily care. They've been able to find a way to get it done.
Hold on.
And I think that's the really hard part for Detroiters too. The hard part is that you've got a Chicago Bears team that has now won 4 in a row, and suddenly they're on top of the division, and it pains us. It pains me too.
Stop doing that, Detroit fans. Like, we're talking about the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Stop bringing up another team.
Yeah.
They're 7-3 since you want to bring them up. They're ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like, why are we bringing up the Chicago Bears right now? Well, name their linemen. He just named 3 of them. Guess what? They brought them all in the offseason. And they paid all of them to help their young quarterback out. Mm-hmm. They said, you know what? In order to be better, we got to help Caleb Williams. We got to protect him, give him some sense of comfortability. They went on and got 3 guys and paid that bread.
Yeah.
And Darnell Wright on the right tackle side, did you see what he did to Bosa, Max Crosby, and others this year? He is dominating these defensive ends. So go do your homework. He's a big man, 58. He picked up somebody last week with one hand and slammed it down. It went viral.
Going in.
It went viral. Like, relax. We're talking about your team and what we don't have.
Yeah.
We're not talking about them and what they actually do have.
That hasn't been brought up nearly enough. I think it's a great point by you that you know who Jared Goff is. It's hard to move him off the spot a year ago, okay? Stood tall, stood clean, stood confident, right? Plenty of time, was able to go through his progressions and checks. Knowing that that's who he is, and that's okay. Let's embrace it, okay? We know who we got. There are certain quarterbacks in this league who are that. Not everybody has to be Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that, if you're going to play that game, then you better make sure you've got the guys in front of him that allows him to be at his strength. And it doesn't seem like they have that right now. If not in the starting lineup, at least in the backups.
Yeah, 100%. And you have to have those guys. You have to have them ready for a season like this just coming up. You look at what's going on this season for Jared Goff, and we talked about this is why I say I pay attention to wins. It's not just that you got the win. You put 52 on somebody, respect. When was it? What did it look like?
Week 2, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who's the next opponent? And they look really – was it the Cincinnati Bengals with Jake Browning? Yeah, was it the Cleveland Browns? I can't even tell you who was quarterbacking for the rest of the game. I know it was Flacco. But, like, these are some wins. These are the hodgepodge of wins. And then all of a sudden it's the Chiefs game.
Right.
And then there's the Vikings game. And now there's the Eagles game with a couple mixed in between there. So the Lions haven't shown you enough to believe in them. Are they a playoff team? Yes. Yes. But it's waning.
Well, what did we say last week? Not only did we talk about the need for the signature win, if you will, but also the reason we thought it was big is because at some point, some path may have to go through Philadelphia. Do you want to go there in the middle of January? Just based on historical facts, okay?
No.
Based on Jared Goff's ability to throw the football in the wind. And I get it. It can get windy in Seattle. It can get windy in San Francisco. It can get windy in Green Bay, too. I doubt it's that windy in Tampa. Moist wind, if you will, for Tampa wouldn't be bad. Anyway, if you know that makes this game even that much more important.
Yeah.
Because now they've got that proverbial tiebreaker with you. So let's just say you win the division. You're probably, outside of Tampa, you're probably you're probably the weakest division winner.
And what sucks about that is Lions had home field advantage last year and it didn't matter.
Right. That's why somebody in the chat says, look, the Lions are coming home. They're going to be fine. I would remind you, their home game against Minnesota, they lost. I would remind you what happened with Washington a year ago, and they lost. So, and Tampa scared the hell out of you. And the Rams scared the hell out of you.
Some of the things that used to be constants aren't necessarily constants anymore.
Never believed in it. I just don't. And it's every single week you can look at the scores, and I don't care what sport it is. You can look at the scores and you can recognize, you know what? There's a lot of teams that don't always hold serve.
Yep.
High Atlanta. It just happened, right?
Soft serve.
Am I wrong there? I mean, yeah, they just, right? Didn't they lose to Carolina?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a home game? I believe it was.
Soft serve.
Yeah.
Back-to-back overtime losses.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. So things like that are going to happen. I don't think it matters the most. Arizona was at home. San Francisco beat the tar out of them.
Where are we with, and maybe I'm jumping ahead. Maybe this is for the next hour.
Fire away.
Where are we with fourth down? Because it seems as though when someone else was calling plays, but Dan Campbell is he's your identity. He's the guy that's, going for it on fourth down, and now it's a thing. But now that he's the play caller and the head coach, it seems different because everybody seems pissed that they were 0-5 yesterday on fourth down and that they didn't take a field goal here or there and then punt in some of these situations. So where are you with Dan Campbell, fourth down going for it? Because it seems as though now people have an issue with it.
Yeah, it seems so. He has said that's who he is,
right?
And that's part of their identity. I believe that. I'm fine with that. My issue is if you're going to do that on a 4th down and 2, and you're going to run Jahmyr Gibbs up the middle, and you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown trying to help out on the left side where a big monster is tearing you down, I think that's a problem schematically.
Yeah.
Why you wouldn't run David Montgomery is beyond me, but whatever. I have a problem with the fake punt. If you're going to if you're going to have a fake punt and they keep their defense, not their special teams, they keep their starting defense out there because they've got an idea, can you just do me a favor? Just bring your offensive guys out there, please. Wouldn't that make more sense? Do I want to see David Montgomery running, or do I want to see Grant Stewart running?
Yeah, man, it's getting cute.
Yes.
I don't like the
or desperate.
It's getting okay. This is how I look at it, Shep. You can change something for a specific moment because it's a specific moment. You're playing in Philly. It's on the road. You got nothing going for you. It's windy. It's affecting this, that, and the third. Maybe you kick a field goal to here because Jake Bates, he seemed like he can make it in that weather. Maybe you putt. Maybe you put him and you play the field goal position because of how good your defense is playing. Mm-hmm. There was a football game, 2017, Michigan versus Michigan State. Know everything with me doesn't go back to Michigan. This just makes sense. It was a rain game. Do you remember the monsoon game?
Yes.
One team chose to say, you know what, we're going to look at these elements. We're going to play it as such. Michigan State ran the ball the whole game because they didn't want to pass. They were smart.
Yep.
Mark D played it the right way. The other coach in Michigan did not play it that way. He chose to pass the ball all game long because that's what they had been doing all that season, trying to get the ball going with John O'Corn. Why are you passing the ball in the monsoon and you end up throwing 6 interceptions?
Yeah.
Like, I understand this is what works for you, but in this particular day, let's get away from that. Let's run the ball. Let's stay true. Let's play a turnover-free game, and let's see if we can beat them in the end. With the wind being like that, with the conditions being like that, and with it just being a different type of flow, different type of game, and one with your defense. Your defense was playing extremely well. Play to that, and it won't take away from it.
It's called adjustments, right?
And no one will look at it and say, oh, Dan Campbell's not Dan Campbell. Oh, he's scared of the identity. No, Dan Campbell made a smart call and decided to kick some field goals and go for it just in these particular circumstances. That's how I feel about the 4th down. No, I don't want Dan Campbell to change who he is. But sometimes in moments, you can adjust for that moment and it actually be a smart thing. Yeah. That's how I look at yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent take. More in the chat and more on the Lions on the other side here on X's and Bros first, or on Braylon Edwards and Woodward Sports. Smoothie King was so good to us last week. God, love the Smoothie King and love the way that they handle the Braylon Edwards Smoothie King High School Player of the Week. It was fantastic. I know we've got an update on how he did last week, and we're looking forward to that. But we're going to hear from that, and we're going to hear from Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning here on the Braylon Edwards Show.
What time it is, I want to invite you to be a part of something special. Our Smoothie King High School Athlete of the Week program is about recognizing student athletes in Southeast Michigan who bring hustle, leadership, and a big impact to their community. Every Friday, we'll give a shout out to one standout athlete right here on the show. At the end of 12 weeks, we'll do the SK12 winners. We'll all come together live on air for an interview event that will be fun. Scan the QR code above my head if you want to nominate somebody for that. Also, too, remember, Smoothie King Smoothies, man, they changed their brand and changed the game, adding real ingredients, real fruit to the product, man. It is a true smoothie. And shout out to CJ Sadler, last week, Smoothie King High School Athlete of the Week, who went against Tommy Carr, our very first Smoothie King High School Athlete of the Week. And just like CJ Sadler said, he said they would put up 42 and some change, and they put up 42 exactly. So shout out to CJ Sadler and Cass Tech for getting the win over Saline High School, and they're still in the playoffs. Smoothie King, we appreciate you guys.
He's Nostradamus. Well, Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning have a little bit of a crystal ball, too. They know right around this time of year it's going to get cold, and they want to keep you warm. No, not by snuggling, but instead by helping you with your heating. And if during the summertime, air conditioning as well. They've been doing it for over 40 years with reliable service and treating customers just like family. Check out their website for all the great testimonials, SharonsHeating.com. DTE Gas customers get a free furnace tune-up right now through the end of 2025. They extended it through the end of December. Free instant estimates for equipment replacement. Online filter purchasing directly from the website as well. Give them a call today, 734-238-3805. Tell them the Braylon Edwards Show and Woodward Sports sent you.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. Injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.
Outkick Your Coverage is back, man. It's year 3 of celebrating ugly guys with hot girls. I feel attacked. Woodward Sports and Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning want to reward you for outkicking your coverage. That's right. If your significant other is hotter than you, you could win tickets to the Detroit vs. New York game on November 23rd. All right, so look, if you want to get involved, all you got to do is find the best pick of you, the best pick of her with the most average looking one of you, and post it on X or Instagram. Make sure you tag at Woodward Sports and use hashtag Woodward Outkick to enter. We will announce the winner on Friday, November 21st, and you and your much better looking lady will get tickets to watch Dan Campbell and the Kneecappers inside of Ford Field. So find the best pick of her with the worst pick of you and show us all how you outkicked your coverage from Woodward Sports and Sharing's Heating and Air Conditioning.
And we're going to hear from the great people at Massage Chair House. Looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. The largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. With the top brands for massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki, located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan the QR code. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
We back, and I'm mad all
Good
over
job,
again.
Brendan. Appreciate that. Well done, fellas. Thank you for that. We were just talking about the fourth downs, and I do want to get to another part. Yeah, we were looking at that. We were talking about the fourth downs, just in case people need a refresher. 4th and 1 from the Detroit 48. Do you agree with going for it there? 4th and 1, Detroit 48, early in the game, first quarter.
Yeah, this is who Dan Campbell has been.
Okay,
100%.
Okay, and that's the one where Jahmyr Gibbs goes right up the middle and gets stuffed. All right.
Right.
4th and 2, the Detroit 43 is the fake punt.
Yeah.
All right. So we've already said we had a problem with that. 4th and 5 from the Philly 32. Now, you kicking a field goal? The wind? Probably not, right?
He made one from that same exact distance too, Jake Bates. Like the one he made was from the 37.
Okay.
He eventually kicked it.
Okay.
He got 3 on the board. But to your point, I mean, it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation in terms of how you break down and conversate around it. Because if I sit there and say, no, you punt that. I mean, do you take a penalty, try to draw them off sides like they did? And then if you don't, you move back one, make it a little easier for the punt it and pin them down there. Like, play the game. Like, sometimes you got to play the game within the game, and it's not just, well, this is what we do, this is who we are. Sometimes it's, let me dive into another side, because then to go somewhere you've never been, Shep, you got to do some stuff you've never done. And I think in terms of being a good coach, you got to evolve. You have to adapt. You have to adjust. And I feel like Dan Campbell is a really good coach that's stagnant right now. Like, he hasn't taken the next step forward. He's a damn good coach, but he's still stagnant in terms of not allowing him to say, look, let me take myself out of the situation and let me see if this isn't the right call for this situation. And I think he's still scared because of what happened in the 49ers.
I see Steve in the chat said use Montgomery. We don't disagree with you there, Steve.
No, hell no, you're right.
So 4th and 5 at the Philly 32. If I'm not kicking a field goal, I'm probably going for it. Yeah. I don't know how you flip the field in that regard. So that was the one where you and I were watching the highlights, and I asked you, that's Jamo on a crossing route. The throw was around his knees. Could you have said he should have caught it? Yeah, could have. It was a bad throw. Really good wide receivers haul that in, probably. Anyways, that was it.
He's used to catching, and I saw it in that moment too. Jared Goff's trying to get the ball. He's just trying to get the ball to Jamo as best he can under current conditions. But Jamo's a house call. Like, Jamo thinks about the house call. His touchdown before that, what was he? Came on the over, route, caught it, and ran for a touchdown. So Jamo's always looking to catch and run at the same time. Sometimes it's not a catch and run. Sometimes it's just get down, get the first down, and live to see another. So I can see how, when watching that film, I can see how Jared Goff could say, hey, look, I'll get the ball up for you a little bit. This is how it's supposed to go. Hey, look, Jamo, I get the ball up for you a little bit on that. But on plays like that, first down, just kind of go down for me. I'll throw the ball low. If the ball's low, go down, catch it, get down. You know, we live to play another down versus trying to kind of catch it on the run and make a play. And that's what happens with the pressing aspect of things, Shep. When you start to lose some games, when you start not to be the big dog, when you start to try to feel, oh, it's pressing, I got to make a play, I got to do something. That's a play where if you see that thrown to 14 is, if he can, he'll go down and just grab it.
I love that explanation. Yeah. That's really good. 4th and goal from the Philly 3. 4th and goal from the Philly 3. You going for it there? I think this is where you were talking about get the field goal, right?
Yeah, and this is towards the end of the game. This is the last one.
Yeah. So that's this
is second to last.
That's the second to last one. And then the last one was 4th and 3 from the Philly 45. That was an incompletion to Amon-Ra St. Brown. You and I both looked at each other and said, wait a minute, Brock Wright is wide open. Where his eyes go, 14. Where his trust goes,
14.
Obviously predetermined going to 14, because if he had to do over again, guaranteed that he's watching that film on the sidelines and going, I should have gone to 89. And then 4th and 3, Philly 45, an incomplete pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're in a desperate situation there. You're going for it no matter what.
That's desperation. I think what happens is, the way in which we are talking about, you could look at the game, is also the opposite side. So you're looking at the game like, look, man, they're not getting anything. We aren't getting anything. We'll go for it. We trust our defense. Well, that's the other side of it. Since we're not getting anything and they're not really getting anything either, one of these field goals can do more damage than you may think. You know, 2 of these field goals, field position can do a little bit more damage. That's what I'm talking about, taking that next step. When you can look at a game situation, I mean, Shep, the score was 6-7 at halftime.
I know.
Score was 6-7 at halftime.
No, 6-6.
I mean, excuse me, 6-6 at halftime. Right, 100%, because of something that we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
But it was 6-6 at halftime. That's what kind of game it's going to be. which means 3 points matters in a game like this.
Absolutely.
This isn't a game where it's inside and it's the NFL 2025 and all this. It's an outside, windy game. The effect of the conditions, they got it 6-6 at the half.
Yeah.
6-6 at the half.
I don't want to be too hyperbolic here
Yeah,
but regarding Philadelphia, but I'm going to say this and get your reaction because I believe it. I think Dan Campbell goes for fourth down a lot against teams. Just intimidation might be too strong of a word, but to send a quote-unquote message.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, we don't care who you are.
We don't care who you are. This is what we're going to do. I don't think Philly gives a rat's ass about that. I think Philly's just like, go ahead, man. I mean, give it a shot. If you get it, you get it. I mean, that's a team that has a mindset of championships, okay, or championship. They've been there, done that.
Yeah.
You're not intimidating. You're not pushing them around. You're going to have to earn everything you get against that team. I'm not saying they're the best team in football or that they're, Billy Badass, the second coming of the Broad Street Bullies back in the Flyer days. I'm just saying that is a team that I don't think you're gaining anything by doing something like that. They'll regroup and go, okay, so they got it on fourth down, big deal.
You don't have to play games with a team like the Eagles.
Yeah.
Just
That's
man up.
said.
Yeah, just man up and play against them.
Yeah.
Like man up and do what you gotta do, mano y mano. Like that's how that game's gonna work. It's not gonna be games and sneaky gamesmanship and I pulled the wool over his eyes on this play. Not the Eagles. At least not that defense. Maybe on the offensive side of the ball because they got a lot to fix over there. And now with Lane Johnson they're going to be in trouble. But that defense, and the defense is getting better. The defense is getting back to what they were last year. A lot of talks and this not being the same defense that you saw last year. Well, the last 2 weeks in a row, they played against the Green Bay Packers and they played against the Lions. They've held them 16 points in totality. I say that Eagles defense is figuring some stuff out. But this also goes back to another move that's not talked about. The last 2 weeks, Eagles defense has looked the part, correct, Shep? You can say best defense in the league last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What is a move that they made 3 weeks ago? They brought a certain person back, and now the defensive line.
Brandon Graham.
Oh, see? Little moves like that.
Yeah.
Like little things like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's where you get credit in, whether it was Sirianni or Howie Roseman, whoever the hell you want to put it together. That's a great move because now all of a sudden – Jalen Carter's worrying about playing and not spitting on people. Jordan Davis has elevated his level of play, although he's having a really good year in total. And then you have Jalen Phillips now, 2 games. He got much better this week, starting to feel more comfortable with the Eagles. Having BG out there, I saw him. I see him coaching those guys up the whole time. That's another good move by that Eagles defensive line.
Don't tell me he doesn't make a difference.
Man,
he may not be playing a lot, but he makes a difference on the sidelines, in the locker room, and when he is playing.
Yeah.
I've always liked the guy. Not just because he's a Detroiter, but I've always liked him.
I wish he would have played at Michigan. That one of my biggest regrets is that Brandon Graham did not play at Michigan during Michigan was Michigan. And I'll leave that at that.
So a lot of really good stuff in the chat. I love looking at people's emotions to a certain extent. And obviously a lot of
super chats too.
Okay, we'll get to those for sure. Let me just dive into this because as Braylon said, it was 13-6 at the half. Philly was up. They were up 6-0, and Detroit able to tie it. They should have gone ahead, but they had to tie it because Jamison Williams, for as speedy and special as he can be as a wide receiver, did something that was, stupid yet again. I mean, there's no other way to describe it, okay? You may not like the rule. I don't like the rule either, okay? I don't like the NFL rules. It wasn't the dumbest call I've seen all weekend. The dumbest call was when Trey McBride fought off 3 49ers for a first down, went out of bounds, got up, and literally went like this for a first down, and they gave him a 15-yard penalty for misconduct, which I think was one of the weakest. That was a weak call. There was a weak call against about Detroit, and gave Philadelphia. Yeah, Yassin gave him the first down to Philadelphia. But when you look at that and you see what Jamison Williams did, you're not supposed to touch the damn goalposts. Period. I don't like the rule. You don't like the rule. It's a rule, okay? Yeah. I said this earlier. I don't like that it's 55 miles an hour on the lodge. I think it should be 70. And most people go 75 or 80. But it's still the law. The NFL has a law, and it is don't touch the damn field goals. That dude knows it, but he did it anyway, put his team in a tough spot. You can say Jake Bates should have made it. 15 yards is 15 yards with that win. And the other thing that bothers me is he comes jogging to the sideline. He's giggling. He's laughing. I got in the end zone. Everyone's patting him on the back and all those other stuff. I remember hosting shows back in the day. Detroit's getting their ass kicked 13-2 by the Brewers or whoever, and Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera are laughing in the dugout, and people are livid. This dude's laughing as he's jogging off the field after he just put his team in a hole, and nobody says a damn thing. All I see with people patting him on the back. I want someone to go up to him and say, you know what? This bullcrap doesn't last here any longer. I want the Deion Dawkins to Keon Coleman routine, where he said to Keon Coleman, love your brother, but the kid gloves are off. The patting on the back is over. I'm done with it. Yeah. And what did they do? They sat Keon Coleman in that game against Tampa. I'm not saying you sit Jamison Williams, but I'm tired of this act. It's over. Move on.
Before I get that mad like you are, Shep, I want to ask one question. The fact that he's coming off the sideline and everybody's dapping him up and all that and this, that, and the third, who's told him that that was wrong? Who's told him that that's a foul?
Yeah.
How does he know that that's a foul? Because the Lions place a lot of value on touchdown celebrations around here, and we love it when we're winning.
You're right.
We love all the celebrations. We love Amon-Ra St. Brown standing up.
The rowing, yeah, standing up.
We love all those things, so they put effort into it.
Yeah.
Is Dan Campbell telling them what the rules are? Because I've seen this play a lot, and it has not been called a lot of time. Okay. It got called once earlier in the year. I want to say it was JSN grabbed the goalpost, but he also grabbed his growing area, if you will, as he did it, right when the ref was right up underneath him. So it looked like he was putting his you-know-what. So it got called in a different manner. Does he know that? Like, so realistically, focus on the game. Focus on the game to your point. But they value the touchdown. That's what this culture is nowadays. That's what this NFL is nowadays. Roger Goodell, he heard us loud and clear when we said the no fun league, and they've added the fun back. Who down in Allen Park is mandating what these guys do not know? Because the fact that he was coming off after everyone saw the yellow flag and no one said anything, like, that's not just J-Mo. You're right. But that's everybody as a collective. That needs to be addressed from Dan Campbell.
Yeah, I agree. And Dan Campbell did answer the question about it. He's like, I told him that that's never going to happen again. Well, that's all fine and dandy. I don't know, how often does a player need to be reminded? I don't know the answer to that, okay? You shouldn't need to. I don't think coaches before every single game or before every series say to them, hey, don't forget, you can't touch the goalpost.
But, Shep, when did that become a rule? Because I dunked on the goalpost and never got a flag.
I think 2021 or two.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
So, yeah. Again, I don't like the rule, Braylon.
Yeah.
All right? There's a lot of things. You know this. I don't like what the NFL does in a lot of different situations. But if that's the way it is right now, you don't put your team in that situation. Okay? People can blame Jake Beats all they want. He's the dude who put his teammate in a bad situation. Okay? And it's got to stop. Yeah. That's all. I'm not saying cut the guy. I'm not saying trade him. I'm not saying I wouldn't play him at all.
Yeah.
All I'm telling you is this selfish type moment of look at me has got to stop. You can have a great celebration doing something else.
Yeah.
And we laugh at it, and it's fun. But that's the stuff that hurts your team. And until the NFL gets wise and stops ruining it, okay, then you're going to have to deal with it. And that's the unfortunate part. We'll get to some super chats when we come back. But first, I want to tell you something about Les Stanford and how good they have been to you and your neighbors and getting you great deals. They've got something on their lot for you. Their massive inventory has got something. I'm just going to give you 3 examples, if that's okay. The 2026 Hummer EV for as low as $699 a month plus tax. How about the Silverado Crew Cab LT, a 2026 version for as low as $159 a month plus tax. That's the blue one right there. And then this one, you can drive off in a 2025 Cadillac Optic for only $449 a month plus tax. Those are hell of a good deals, folks. And it's only at Les Stanford. Go to their website, lesstanford.com.
Jack's Car Wash is the best car wash around the state. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go yourself. In fact, we'll get your free car wash if you do. Text WSN2 888-522-1729. Again, that's WSN to 888-522-1729. Free vacuums, free compressed air, free night cleaning. This is what the 40-plus locations around the great state of Michigan have to offer you at Jack's Car Wash. And also, there is the unlimited plan, so join and take advantage of that as well. Take advantage of all the perks of being a member. Wash at any of the 40-plus locations. You know what time it is. Jack's Car Wash, the best in the business, the best around the great state, and take advantage of the unlimited plan.
Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or bust Lions network. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
I heard you calling that the whole time and still didn't pay attention. Attention sports fans, don't miss expert insight. Dr. Jeff Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine. Also, you can catch him on Pick the Energy on Tuesdays, as well as the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep on Thursday, where he shares his top-tier advice to keep athletes in peak condition. Trust the guy I trust, and that's Dr. Jeff Pierce. Here's how to help you stay in your game and perform at your best. Learn more at MichiganSportsandSpine.com, as well as 248-426-9944.
I'm pretty low maintenance when it comes to, holiday gifts. I would love to have some type of Buddy's Pizza gift card. That would be ideal. I mean, and you can receive a free 4-square one-topping pizza voucher with every $50 gift card purchase right now through the end of 2025. If I got one, I would do it for our group. I would spend the $50 and I would bring pizza in here, especially because it's Buddy's Pizza. It's fantastic. A lot of us are hosting holiday events, right? I know Kool-Aid's got a big bash at his house, and you can use Buddy's and book your reservation or cater. Okay, you can have to dine in where the party packages start at about $15 per person, or you can cater your event with the original Detroit style pizza and save 20% off your order of $200 or more. That's easily spent, right? $200, that's not that big of a deal. Holiday 20 is the promo code, Holiday 20. Visit their catering menu and to find out anywhere any of the 22 locations are throughout the state of Michigan by going to buddyspizza.com, and if you want the catering menu, /catering, buddyspizza.com.
And we back.
All right, I want to get to Braylon's bums.
Somebody said that we were going after J-Mo.
Oh, yeah. So somebody in the chat said, I'm tired of J-Mo being singled out. This was on Goff and Dan. Sometimes people tune into the Braylon Edwards Show at different times.
Right.
We spent roughly 45 minutes on Jared Goff and Dan Campbell combined. I think that's pretty fair.
I spent 20 minutes alone talking about how bad the offensive line is and that you can't win with them.
Yeah.
And nothing was mentioned about J-Mo until the one play in which you now take the kick back further. It's a 48-yard kick. You missed the extra point, and now as opposed to being up 7-6, you're down 6-6. It's kind of what we pointed out. That's all.
It's interesting how
that's all.
I've said this for a long time, and it's okay. We all do it. Yeah. I do it too. And that is, if there's a player who we love, we have a hard time criticizing them. So somebody recently in the chat, no, J-Mo isn't to blame. We could have won that game besides J-Mo's one mistake. Yeah. I don't care how many mistakes it is. It's the timing and what you've done and how you should have learned from this. I thought there's no question it was a mistake. There's no question it cost this team. I don't know how much. I'm not blaming him for the loss. I'm just tired of seeing that aspect of it. There's more blame to go around than Jameson Williams. But to ignore it is derelict in broadcasting today.
I agree 100%. I put it to you like this way: like, am I tripping about what that penalty was in totality? No, I don't really give. I don't really give a you know what, and I don't think it should be a penalty.
Yeah.
But the fact remains, it is a penalty, and it's not about that game because you're right. At the end of the day, it went to halftime. They had plenty of time to come back and win that game without that penalty affecting them. Where it does affect them is if it's still done now in year 4, when it was done last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. What happens when you, if you make it to the playoffs? What happens if J-Mo gets a penalty, gets one of these moments in a big game that it really sets you back, and now it really hurts you? And it's not like this one. It's really more glaring because it does. What if that happens? That happens when it's not addressed today, or when it wasn't addressed last year, wasn't addressed in the offseason. That's more of the conversation that we're having. You don't want this to be a situation to really, really can affect you. That's
by the way, I'm not sure. I'll be interested to see who your top 5 are this year, or top 10 is this week for teams. I'm really interested in that.
The whole NFL?
Of the whole NFL, because I know
still don't like those stinking Broncos.
I know you don't, but
I like their defense.
They've beaten the 2 Super Bowl participants from a year ago. They've done something right.
Yeah.
They beat the Eagles earlier this year, 21-17, and they just beat the Chiefs 22-19. Their offense doesn't scare you.
You know what they are? They're the exact same team as the Philadelphia Eagles. However, their offense is more fluid. Like, they're the same thing. Their defense is a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Denver Broncos, they're just like the Eagles. Their defense is going to do enough to keep you in the games no matter how bad you play. The difference is Bo Nix is playing a lot smoother than Jalen Hurts is right now, and they have a better sense of what they want to do right now with R.J. Harvey as well as Troy Franklin when they can get those guys open. So they're very similar teams. I will buy Denver more than the Eagles right now.
How frustrating were you? I don't know if it would have made the difference, but Rock Ya-Sin gets that pass interference call. There were 2 glaringly terrible pass interference calls yesterday. One was in the Miami game, and then, of course, Detroit's. I don't care if it ended the game this way or virtually ended it for Detroit. No matter when that would have been called, I don't care if it's the first quarter or the final quarter, that had no business being called. Now, you're a receiver. You tend to gravitate toward the offensive guys. But how did you view that penalty? I thought it was ridiculous.
First of all, I understand what you're saying, but it does matter because that's in the first play of the game. If that's in the first play of the game and you want to call that, or the first series or the second quarter, you want to call that's not even a ticky-tack foul. It was a non-foul. We'll get to that. But if you want to call that non-foul, ticky-tack foul, by all means. If you're talking about at the end of the game when you're deciding these games in which Warriors have been out here fighting for 59 and a half minutes getting after it, and this is mano-a-mano, is one-on-one, and it's right there, and it wasn't a lot, you don't call that. Like, you don't call that. But getting to the play itself, there was no call there. I legitimately watched the refs allow Philadelphia Eagles DBs, who did a tremendous job, this isn't about them, tremendous job all night, being physical, D'ing up on Amon-Ra St. Brown, being close to Jameson Williams, putting hands on Brock Race. Like, I watched all game, and I didn't have a problem with it because that's football. When it gets to November, it gets cold outside. You start to get in some of those deciding months. Brandon, I see you shaking your head. You know what I'm talking about. Like, it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be physical. Let them play a little bit. It's outside. It's cold. Yeah. For them to end the game that way and let a guy that made a play, like he did exactly what he was supposed to do in that moment, play really good defense, gave his team another chance to go down there and see what they can do, that was BS.
Yep.
And it was and they called a couple plays like that in the game. And the reason why I won't make a mention of those plays because the Lions played bad on offense. So I don't want to make this the Lions got holes type game. So that's not where my rhetoric was coming
real about that.
They called some BS calls last night, and they gave Philadelphia a couple outs, 3 in particular. But that one right there, Shep, that's egregious.
I'm going to be honest with you.
That's egregious.
I thought that when I saw the flag fly,
offensive?
I agree with Jacob Schinneberger here in the chat.
Pushed off.
He said if anything, A.J. Brown pushed off. That's what I thought.
Pushed off to get to the sideline.
Yeah,
that's what you thought too.
Push off. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So we're all in agreement there. We all thought it was going to be an offensive PI. And again, that's not us being Lions fans.
No, not at all.
We're talking about being football fans here. That's what I thought. I thought it should be a no call on either one. But if I thought, okay, there's a flag that's going against Philly, move them back, right, or just decline the penalty. punt, and Detroit gets it back. I don't know what they do with it if they get it back, but still.
One of my two favorite things I hate the most is the DBs do both of them. One is when the quarterback overthrows a wide receiver and the DBs do this.
Yeah.
Sir, you were cooked. I don't even know what you're talking about. The other one is when DBs make the reaction after a pass interference, like when they make the surprise, like, sir, you know you held. When Rocky Singh did it yesterday, it's the first time in a very long time where I said he has every right to make that face and look like that.
Yeah.
Because he's damn right.
What's that face again, Bray?
Nah. Relax.
Do you think
Relax.
Do you think if that's Quinyon Mitchell because of the reputation, that it's different? No.
They're not calling that.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it is
they're not
different.
calling that.
Yeah, because it was Rocky Sin.
Because it was A.J. Brown, Rocky Sin, to your
Yeah,
point.
right.
Yeah.
Let's get to some super chats. You want to, Kool-Aid, and then we'll get to Braylon's bums. I probably shouldn't say bums first, should I?
Man, it's a fun show. Yes, bums. We'll get to the bums. Like the Lions offensive line just they were bums in that moment. It's not a bum in the sense that you are a bum.
But
No,
there's
you're not
also a
bum.
positive side.
There
of
is.
this
There's
segment.
the ballers.
Okay, there's the ballers.
There's the
right.
ballers.
So I want to make sure that I'm stressing that, especially when you look at Kool-Aid, who's always smiling. Brendan's in a good mood. Kool-Aid's in a good mood. I'm, for the most part, in a good mood. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, sometimes it's just I'm in a good mood. Other times y'all are crushing it. Today it's a little bit of both, man.
Okay.
But shout out to Rim1971 with a $2 super chat. We see you. Thank you for the support. Nick.
$2.
Nick, I see you, man. He's number one in the chat today. This guy has been all through the chat. 499 super chase says Brad could have drafted a center, but he wasted picks on Martin, Ennis, Sorsdal, Manu, Vaki, Wingo. This is why Howie is the best. Golly, boy. They let Juergens sit behind Kelsey.
I will say this. How do I phrase this? Every GM, because I'm about to get my Shep on for a second. Every GM misses. Like Howie Roseman has missed as well as Brad Veach has missed as well as John. Everybody misses. The difference is a lot of these picks that he just named, I don't know a lot of people trying consistent projects at these spaces. But there's been a lot with Brad Holmes as it relates to moving up to draft a project or just drafting a project in spaces where you're like, whoa. We can use that third round pick.
Yeah.
We can use that third round pick.
Yep.
We can use that third round pick. Or we can use that fourth round pick or that fifth round pick. There's been a lot of spaces like that. And guess what? What's the one that's paid off? And if you dare tell me Kirby Joseph and Amon-Ra St. Brown, those weren't trying something. Those weren't projects. Those were wide receivers and a safety that you actually believed in and you were super excited fell to you. Those were the players you wanted in those particular drafts. I'm talking about those moves, those Giovanni Manus that he just named, the Kobe Sarsdale that you just named, the Sione Vakis, and he's injured right now and we hope he gets back. But where are the projects that have hit yet? That I agree with. I want him to.
Yeah, that's you're talking about some 6th-round pick. Look, I think Howie Roseman's the best GM in football. I'm happy with Brad Holmes too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but there's no question Philly loves it. I would just remind people. I mean, that he did help draft Nelson Aguilar, who was a 1st-round wide receiver and didn't make it. He did draft J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, another 2nd-round wide receiver who didn't make it. Not every general manager is going to hit on all of them. Some of the names you bring up, that's fair game. You know, if I don't want to miss on my first 3 rounds. I think it's really important. And he's missed on some 2nd-rounders. There's no question about that. We didn't even bring up Enos Rakestraw.
I left it alone.
I
left it alone.
I know you did. Look, Philly drafts a couple years ago. What did they took Mitchell and DeJean, right? Mm-hmm. Both of them. One's a star. Mitchell's a star. DeJean's pretty damn good in the slot. Okay. Detroit takes Arnold and Rakestraw. One, you barely know his name. The other one was coming along fine, but the concussion kept him out this week, and he still has a little growth, okay? Wasn't taken as high as Quinyon Mitchell, but he's a guy who's supposed to be a one corner. That is, the 2nd round has been a problem, and I understand why people feel that way. I'm just telling you, there are general managers. When you win, all that goes away. It doesn't matter. I remember having a conversation with Martin Mayhew once. We were in Oakland, I think, and I said to him, you know, we were talking about certain draft picks that Matt Millen made.
Yeah.
And Martin was with Matt Millen, of course. And he says, look, you know, I didn't want a certain guy, or Matt didn't want a certain guy. I said, yeah, but Martin, here's the thing. When you're the general manager, you're married to that pick. Whether the scouts were wrong or not, you're the one turning in the name. I'm turning in Braylon Edwards 3rd overall. I better be right because you're the one who's going to get the blame. That's just the way it is. And Brad Holmes is getting blamed for the second-round picks, and it hasn't worked out so far. Let's hope it does. If you're talking about 4th and 5th and 6th, like Sione Vaki, if he's helping me on special teams, I feel pretty good about it. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of it depends on where you're taking these guys. Any more in the super chat there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, the people have definitely been letting their voices be heard today. Thank you guys for the support. T-Bone in the chat.
T-Bone.
Man. $5 super chat. And I'm gonna do this. T-Bone and Wingnut. I'm gonna read theirs back to back.
Wingnut.
T-Bone says Dan Campbell said it best. Jared Goff is no Lamar Jackson, and Wingnut says Goff has never beat Fangio. So, couple digs at Jared Goff there.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's open. He's open to those digs.
Yeah.
T-Bone, open to those digs because he didn't play well. Period. And the offensive line didn't play well either. And we have stressed that here today. They all have to be better. And they can't be better just against the Giants. They can't be better for just one game. The loss, win. Hey, they haven't lost 2 in a row. I don't give a crap, okay? Because guess what? Philly lost 2 in a row earlier this year. What you care about is getting it fixed where it translates against one defense to the next, home or road. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's never about the back-to-back. It sounds good.
Yeah, right.
It sounds good. Hey, we haven't lost back-to-back. You also haven't won an NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can have those conversations, but
Yeah, got a couple more here I want to definitely read. Greg. Shout out to Greg Thomas, one of the mainstays in the chat, one of our members. If you haven't, you can become a member of Woodward Sports. Get a little bit more, too.
I feel like I know Greg.
Number 3 in the chat, $1.99 super chat. He says, I just want to win next week. That's all that I want. Terrell LV, $2 super chat. He says, thank you, Brad, for putting the blame. Oh, thank you, Bray, for putting the blame where it belongs. And he puts BH. So, and then Haydener, $2 super chat. He wants to know this. Is Amon-Ra still a top 5 receiver in the NFL?
Who is he asking, me or Shep?
That's open-ended.
Well, you would be the right guy to ask.
Yeah.
How'd those windows look yesterday?
Oh, no.
How'd those windows look?
I think about it every single time they
come out. Those windows look yesterday.
Like, y'all don't want me to talk?
Yeah. No, look, Amon-Ra St. Brown's a damn good wide receiver in this league. You know, he has shown you he's shown you last couple years in a row why. It's the route running, it's the hands, the things that he's done. It's the attention to detail. It's knowing how to play this game. He's made big plays in big games. So he's definitely still one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league. But this right now, you see Jamar Chase yesterday. Jamar Chase, he couldn't get any passes. Sometimes you have bad games because of what's around you. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he was open a little bit yesterday, but kudos to Quinyon Mitchell, who we're talking about. Quinyon Mitchell gets paid too. He is a first-round draft pick, and for a reason. He put clamps on Amon-Ra St. Brown to go with the offensive line getting beat up on the defensive line, so it does not make for a good receiving game for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he doesn't run a 4.2, so he can't do what J-Mo did.
I try not to get too hyperbolic about guys when they're really good, and I'm not going to do it after one game when they struggle or when the offense struggles. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is still a top 5 wide receiver. The performance last night does not sway my opinion of that. I am not going to get caught up in the moment and go, okay, now everything's broken. Dan Campbell forgot how to call plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown forgot how to run routes. The offensive line forgot how to block. And Jared Goff can't hit the broadside of the barn. I'm not going to go that far. I can admit that they were all bad at the same time, and that's disappointing and frustrating, and I want to see more from them, but I'm not going to think everything is broken just because of one bad game.
Yeah, you're 100%. And that's why I phrased it like I did. I said, hey, look, we'll see how this continues to look. But now, as we get further into the season, I can't wait to rank these wide receivers again because I've been watching how this year has been, and to say that he'll stay in the top 5 at the end of the season, I can't promise you that.
Right.
Because wide receivers are playing like JSN. JSN is trying to make everyone take notice. I don't care who you say is number 1. It ain't.
He's really good.
Like JSN, like the catch on the sideline yesterday. It's not that he caught it with one hand. Right. It's not that he caught it with one hand. We've seen one hand catch before. Hell, I've made 3 or 4 of them in the NFL. It's the fact he caught it with one. He switched it without paying attention and just kept on going like nothing didn't matter. It's the ease and the flow of the one hand. That boy is a problem.
Yeah, he is.
And there's a couple other ones too, but he's a
good.
problem.
So good.
Yeah.
The league doesn't wait.
Somebody in the chat.
That's the realest thing someone ever told me coming into the NFL.
What's that?
He said, it's just like you're here to take somebody's job, just like you're here to try to make your mark and start climbing that ladder. He says somebody's going to do it to you next year. Somebody's going to do it to them the following year, and it's going to keep going. The league waits for nobody. Just because you're in one space in 1 year, if you're not busting your butt and continue doing things to evolve, improve your game, you will get passed by.
Really good thoughts in the chat, and I think most of them are right. From Steve O'Baby, he says, it hasn't been one bad game. Green Bay, Kansas City, Minnesota, Philadelphia, those have been bad games,
facts.
Matt. That's facts without question.
Facts.
Shep, but we have seen this O-line look good versus good D-line. It's been a far,
are we calling Baltimore a good D-line?
Right.
Because I would beg you to cautionary look at that again.
Yeah, few and far between. Somebody had said, Brad didn't do his
Cleveland,
job, didn't trade for an offensive lineman. Well, so there were 2 offensive linemen traded at the trade deadline. I'm not going to try and fool you and try to convince you that these guys are stars right now. Could you have addressed it? Absolutely. Trevor Penning went from New Orleans to the Chargers for a 6th-round draft pick. How have the Chargers been? I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, where's the impact?
35 to 6.
Right. It's been minimal. Okay.
Buzz your girlfriend.
The other, the other was Cam Robinson going from Houston to Cleveland for a 6th-round draft pick. Yeah. How good has he helped the Cleveland offense? Okay. So all I'm saying is it's easy for us to want something. There has to be a want on the other side for someone to give you some help.
Yep.
I think what we're always trying to be specific on this show. Yeah. What we said before the trade deadline, I'm sure he remembers it, but what we said was go trade with Tennessee and try to get Zeitler back is what we said. And then we said, and then figure it out. Okay, if that means Glasgow stays at center, you move Ratledge to left guard, you move Ratledge to center, which wouldn't be ideal. You move Glasgow where he was last year at left guard, he comes in as a swing, whatever. We thought bringing Zeitler back, what would it have taken? Would you have sent let's just say it's a 5th-round pick. It's not going to be more than that. Would you have sent a 5th-round pick to Tennessee for him?
Yes.
You're damn right you would have.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't want to sound like Jack Nicholson and A Few Good Men. You're damn right I would, but you absolutely would. Okay? All right, when we come back, Braylon's Code Red. Braylon's Ballers and Braylon's Bums.
Santiago.
After this, from Lady Jane's and Black Rock. That was a star-studded cast, by the way.
Well, that's one of my favorite movies. That's pretty good by you, by the way.
Black Rock sounds so fire.
Colonel Jessup. He said, oh, man, you about to give me a quote in that movie. Let me sit back.
All right.
Looking for dental plans.
Work it in. See if you can work it in. Go ahead.
Here you go. Looking for dental plans at Sizzle? Head to Black Rock Bar and Grill, home of the steak on a stone. Get the steak and lobster for just $19.99 while you can. Deal ends November 23rd.
I want the truth.
You want the steak or the truth?
I want the truth because I'm getting both.
All right, man. Say hello to their new menu, now serving all you can eat platters, fish and chips, rib and fries, chicken strips and fries, only $20 all day, every day. Also try new sizzling Cajun steak bites and crab stuffed portobello. Portobello mushrooms. That's what I'm talking about right there. That is the truth. Looks like they can handle it.
Wait, don't steak bites?
Now, I would say you could come down to Black Rock and get a free appetizer because when the Lions win, you win. But guess what? They didn't win, so no appetizer for you. But the deal is still going. Maybe we can try it out again next Sunday after the Lions beat up on the New York Giants. Check it out.
Hal. Guys, let's be honest. We like simple.
You can't handle the truth.
We like simple stuff. We like gimmies on the golf course. We like wins from our football team. We like uncomplicated things. Like, well, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. They'll give you the truth. Walk in, sign in. Before you know it, you're a handsome man and you're out the doors clean and looking sharp. It's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open from 10 till 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime because it is, truly is, wicked awesome. And so are you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. A original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them, and that's not very nice.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
You guys see that QR code? Go on ahead and scan it to get a jump on this information. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. If you're looking for the ultimate pickleball experience, check out Wicked Pickle. They got 10 climate control courts and a chill lounge with cold drinks. That makes it Metro Detroit's hottest indoor pickleball spot, all right? Mark those calendars, all right? For Woodward Sports Pickleball open on Friday, January 9th. Come watch your favorite Woodward Sports personalities go head-to-head against each other and pickleball pros. And don't miss the Woodward Heavyweights broadcasting live from Wicked Pickle, 5 to 7 p.m. And if you want in on that action, again, remember, you got that QR code there. Make sure you scan that or register today at pickleballtournaments.com for a chance to compete and maybe even take down your favorite Woodward Sports personalities. Chat family, let me know who would you want to play against in a pickleball tournament. If you could bet, hey, send it over to Caesar.
If I told you you could place any bet up to $1,000 and if you lose, you get that back, would you think I'm crazy? Scan this QR code, enter the code Woodward1000, and if your first bet doesn't hit, you'll get your deposit bet back up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 back just for giving it a shot. That sounds amazing to me. Minimum bet just $20. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Use code Woodward1000 or scan the QR code on the screen.
And we back.
I just realized something, Danny. She overrules you, doesn't she? Let's get to
still going.
Let's get to Braylon's ballers and bums, shall we? And then we get the mailbag. So Braylon started off for us. Who's your baller?
Baller?
Yeah, I like this, by the way. This is really cool.
I like the arrow being pointed at Ohio State. You know what I'm saying?
We just had to make sure people knew.
It's awesome. Yeah.
100%. They're not bums this year, but we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. My baller for this week, man, is Bryce Young. Like, there's no sexy way to get around. Let me just say it. Like, Bryce Young, 448 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And a win in overtime against the Falcons. He broke the Carolina Panthers passing yards in the game record. But it's not about the record. It's just about resilience. Like, I remember when he got drafted, and it was, he's coming off being a Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, the whole 9 yards, and he gets drafted. And then all of a sudden, I want to say Frank Reich was the coach. And he's in one of the worst situations as it relates to the owner. Like, David Tepper has never been a good owner. You see what they did in year 2 of Bryce Young. They literally sent all his weapons to Chicago. Yeah. They sent their whole future to Chicago, and they got nothing in return for it. And he had nothing to work with. And then all of a sudden you see, he's too small. They didn't say he was too small when he was winning the Heisman Trophy. But now he's too small. He's not a good quarterback. They should have went with C.J. Stroud. I still think Bryce is a better quarterback. I always have. I might be wrong. It is what it is. But it's just about resiliency. He stayed the course, and he and Dave Canellis have found some magic. It seems, maybe not magic, but they found something. So kudos to a young man staying the course. Like 448 yards and 3 touchdowns in NFL, that is nothing to sneeze at. So shout out to you for staying the course.
I love that because it's not necessarily just the on-field performance. Yeah. It's how he's handled
like a true gentleman, professional.
He's been great. Yeah,
Nobody's had anything to say about him. Like, that's tough.
Good for him.
That's tough.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. I'm cheating.
Okay.
I got 2 people. All right. I've got Josh Allen. Josh Allen had 3 touchdown passes, 3 touchdown runs.
Rush for 1. 2. 3.
3. Yeah. The Bills ran 53 plays. and they scored 44 points. Josh Allen now has 75 career rushing touchdowns. That ties Cam Newton for most by a quarterback in NFL history, and he did it in 27 fewer games. So that's one of them. The other baller for me is Darius Jenkins from the Pistons.
Hey, shout out Dennis.
Now, it would be easy to say Cade Cunningham because he's got a shoe deal, and I get it. You could make him a baller just about every single week. But Jenkins, over the last 3 games, Braylon, he scored 24 in the win over Washington. He scored 18 in the win over Chicago, in which he played a career-high 40 minutes and 7 seconds to be exact, and also had a career-high 12 assists. And then he scored 19 points, had 8 assists in the win over Philadelphia. Hit 5 of 8 from deep. 5 of his 6 shots that went through the hoop were from long range.
Ooh.
And you talk about a kid seizing the moment, getting the best out of, making the best out of his situation. There's no pouting there. There's a self-belief, and now there's a team belief and a fan belief.
Yep.
So, yes, am I cheating? Yes, but I'm going with Josh Allen and Darius Jenkins as my Braylon's ballers for the week.
I like that. You got 2 on there.
I did.
See, all right.
Anybody else got one to add?
It's fire, man. I mean, just the Pistons in general. I got to do this for Dante 151. The Pistons as a whole, the 9-game winning streak, the identity, being there no matter who's in the lineup. I definitely got to recognize him. And shout out to you with the Jenkins love. This is a guy that covered since his summer league. When he went undrafted and they brought him in. And the first thing I said to some of the scouts I was sitting with was, this guy's an NBA player. And they were like, yeah, we know. They got one. And it took some time for him to get this NBA shot, but it's a good pull by you, man. It's a good play.
How about you?
Paul Reed, Pistons player. When he came in 4 days ago versus Chicago, comes in,
game.
28 points, 13 rebounds, 85% shooting. That's a baller.
And 2 triples during that game. Really good. I love it.
That's
okay.
awesome.
Yeah, a lot of Piston love so far. Okay, what about
I'm tuning in some basketball tonight. Pistons were off this weekend. I know they played tonight. So tomorrow I'm coming in with a whole full breakdown of where I believe the Pistons are as they go for 13.
I thought Kool-Aid was going to go for Lucas Raymond because he had a goal and an assist in the win over the Rangers last night. I'm stunned that he didn't go Lucas Raymond.
I see what you did there. So now you have 3. Now you're sneaky. Now you have 3.
I did give him some love this morning, man. I had to give him some
we
love.
appreciate you. How about Braylon's bum?
I just will never understand the type of disrespect that you can have in your heart to spit on somebody. For me, spitting on someone is the most egregious thing that you can do as a man, especially man to man. To spit on another man, spit on anyone. Let's say that. To spit on somebody is just disrespect on so many levels. We saw early on in the year with Jalen Carter, the opening game of the year, he spit on Dallas, Dak Prescott. He spit in that area.
Why is this happening 100%. More and more now?
Well, you notice it's the SEC, and I can go there too if you want to tell me that. There's something about those guys down south because this is what it tends to be. But there's no excuse for spitting on someone. And then you get an opportunity in the locker room, since you want to spit on Jalen Ramsey, since he locked your ass up, since you want to spit on him, you get an opportunity at the locker room to say, yeah, I spit on him, but you didn't do that. You know what you did? He said, I never opened my mouth to that man. First of all, we knew you was lying when you said it. You start stuttering, your posture changed, you switched and went this way. You were looking dead on this way, and all of a sudden, I never opened my mouth to that man.
Yeah,
and then
that's
we're clearly
weak.
what is this?
Video evidence.
That's weak.
Don't y'all know we live in the era of 4K?
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't respect it. I still think he's the best receiver in the league, but I have no respect for him. You won't be hearing me saying high praises outside anything but his on-field play, because the man can play. But that right there, I don't respect stuff like that. To spit on someone, to legitimately, I don't even want to say the word anymore. That right there is egregious. And they need to have deeper fines and deeper penalties for individuals that do this, because they're doing right now is not enough.
Well said. And not to mention the fact that Jalen Ramsey is an accomplished guy in his own right. He's been a hell of a player for a long time. You should appreciate guys who play your sport at the highest level.
It's an honor. It's an honor to get these reps against you. Let me see what you got. Let me see, are you really like that? Let me see, you know what? You're doing your job. I appreciate playing against you today. You did your thing. I'll see you next time. Now you cover me. I'm pissed that I got to play with Joe Flacco, and it was Jake Brown, and then Joe Burrow was hurt, and then my team sucks. So now I'm taking all that into account, and I spit on you. That's terrible.
Uncalled for. I agree.
And he lied about it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean,
He lied.
just man, I made a mistake. It was a stupid mistake. I'm going to apologize right now. You've had a chance to know about it. You've had a chance to digest it a little bit, and you still stand your ground knowing damn well everybody saw it on camera. It's ridiculous. Like you said, we live in a world of 4K.
Yeah, at the very least, man,
respect.
stand by it. Whatever got you hot, talk about it, and then apologize for the disrespect to the game.
100%.
Just charge it to any heat of the moment at the very least and stand on it because it looked way weak. Like you said, you caught in 4K.
Yeah.
Like that was like 8K. I'm sitting here looking like, man, I see like little dribbles of saliva coming off the spit.
Really disappointing
Like
that a guy like that would do that. And if you're wondering what I should do, grab one of your PR people. Because you know everyone's coming there to talk to you, right? Grab one of your PR people. What do you think I ought to say? Well, I would own it. That's what they ought to say. So here's my Braylon's bum. It's Sam Darnold. Now, he's done a hell of a job in Seattle so far, okay?
Yeah.
Biggest game of the year, first place on the line, NFC West, against the Rams. He throws 4 picks. He had thrown 6 interceptions all season long before that game against L.A. We talk about the Lions looking for a signature win. Seattle needs a signature win. I know they're good. I think their defense, I know you did. Their defense is really good. Let me tell you who they beat. Steelers, Saints, Cardinals, Jags, Texans, Commanders, Cardinals. So they're still in search of it. Yeah. They've got Titans, Vikings, Falcons, Colts, Rams again. They could get a couple more, but so far they're searching for it. That's my Braylon's bum. How about you, Kool-Aid? Yeah. Who's your Braylon's bum for the weekend?
It just keeps Sam Darnold. I saw a stat that I want to say because it was the Rams. It was who's the defensive coordinator for the Rams? It's Steve, whoever it is. They were talking about his Sam Darnold's record against him. He hasn't won a game, but they just kept him off schedule. Yeah. That was their job all game. They said, look, we're just get to him, keep him off schedule. They kept him off schedule. He didn't know where to go with the ball. A lot of times it was to the wrong person.
Yeah. They confused him. There's no question. I don't want to say ghosts, but go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I will pull the Red Wings into this one. And it was after they won and they just kind of tossed the puck into the empty net. Seemed like
Mason Appleton?
Yeah, it seemed like the other team wanted to get a little rowdy, man. I don't really understand what rule or unwritten rule was crossed. But, like, you had all that time to do something to beat them during regulation. You lost the game. Just similar type of thing. Respect the game. You lost, but you want to start the skirmish after. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, that was Jonathan Quick, their goalie who started it.
Thank you, yeah.
And he's been around for a long time. Yeah. You're right. I don't know all the unwritten rules. The horn sounded just as Appleton was collecting the puck and just flung it in. They had already pulled Jonathan Quick. Why he jumps off the bench and starts the melee and then the entire bench is empty? Okay. I hope you don't mind losing a little bit of money. Wings win it 2-1. I thought it was a really cool game because you have, obviously 2 Original 6 teams celebrating their 100th year, both wearing iconic sweaters. And I thought it was a really fun game to watch.
Yeah.
And good for the Wings to bounce back.
Can I ask a question about the game last night? Could Dan Campbell, and this is going to sound, could Dan Campbell have given the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I like the way they found him in the passing game. Obviously, it's the most passing yards or receiving yards he's had. I thought you were going to say I thought David Montgomery would have been the right choice to give the ball a little bit more to, considering the battering ram that he plays with.
The David Montgomery yards, though, like he did have a nice drive. They came after Jahmyr Gibbs plays. So
True.
To give Jahmyr more would have been able to give Demo more. I'm thinking less passes, period.
Gotcha.
Is what I was thinking. I think, and it doesn't have to be runs to J-Mo because we saw a lot, not J-Mo, but Gibbs. They didn't necessarily go anywhere. But those things when you get him outside on the edges, throwing the ball, find some spots for him, they could have did a bit more of that.
Maybe weaken up that defensive line in that rush.
That was the only thing that was really working.
Yeah. And behind Penny Sewell. Brendan, who's your Braylon's bum for the weekend?
Some Michigan fans are definitely going to be upset with me, but J.J. McCarthy was a bum this week.
You mean 9?
Yeah, 9. My bad, 9. Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know how I dislike a guy so much that I used to love so much.
Yeah, it's
not that I dislike him. I like him. And no offense to him. I just, right now, I think the hype is just ridiculous.
I know.
And by the way, it's not just people in a certain market. It's nationally. They overhyped Arch Manning, and now they're falling back and saying, you know what, maybe we overhyped them in Texas. You think they overhyped J.J. McCarthy on one flipping game, and everybody did it, by the way, Brendan. Everybody. Pete Schrager's like, oh, man, they've got their leader, and look at all the stuff this guy says, and you all believe in him. And it's just, it gets to why can't we just sit back and say, okay, he had a nice game. Let's see what happens next. Let's see how he grows. You just brought up Bryce Young.
Everybody has to be the first one to say it.
I know.
And a lot of times in doing that, they become the first person to tear you down.
Exactly right.
100%.
How about the mailbag? Anything in the mailbag for Braylon?
Oh, yeah, definitely. One, we had a poll in here. Who's most to blame for the Lions' loss to the Eagles?
Your mama.
Dan Campbell's at 24%. Jared Goff is at 33%. Refs plus penalties at 4%. I'm proud of you for not blaming refs, people. Offensive line, 38%. They're the winners right now.
It's about right, don't you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've already voted.
I was listening. Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for?
I voted the O-line.
The O-line, yeah. It's funny that Goff got that much. Like I love Detroit fans because like when everything's good with Goff and everything.
Hey, talk about
Goff's the best. He's the best quarterback. He doesn't get enough respect. He's this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
But when you have games like this and you're reminded that look, Goff is a really good quarterback under certain circumstances, and when you put him in other circumstances, not so much. Then it comes out like, oh man, get this guy out there. He's a bum. Why pay him $53 million? Blah 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 blah. Hyperbolic.
Yep, for sure. Living in the moment.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, it sure does. Any more?
Yeah,
Kool-Aid?
you know, people sent in their ballers and their bums.
Oh, good. Let's get to
some
those.
people put in. I see Early Bird said the Detroit Pistons is their ballers. Let me see
Makes
here.
sense.
Crazy Clown, no spit. That's a bum. That's instant throwing hands in the rural areas.
Me and Crazy Clown agree on something? Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Crazy Clown. First time ever. I'm joking.
Dante 151. My bum has to be the Washington Wizards for losing to the Nets, and you have the worst record in the NBA. And you know, a lot of Pistons fans, it's just that whole thing with the Wizards when
what's his name?
Who was it? Kyle Kuzma was there and was like, at this point, don't be
that
since
team.
then, even though he's not even there anymore, Wizards are still C-red for Pistons fans.
Pistons play the Pacers tonight. Pacers are 1-12 and losers of 7 in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, Halliburton, is he that good? Jesus.
Oh, absolutely. But remember, they lost Miles Turner, too. That's a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana has. That's the guy I wanted to play for the Pistons.
Was that a situation where they knew that Tyrese Halliburton was out and they can get something from him, so they let him go and forego this year?
I don't know what their mindset was. I mean, Milwaukee offered him more money. I think he was a little offended by the offer that Indiana gave him. Indiana kept saying he's the one guy we can't let go.
Yep.
Really held that locker room together.
Maybe they don't like. Maybe they don't like Legos.
Maybe they don't like Legos.
Real quick, we got one that I think you guys can answer quickly. Is 12-5? Is 12-5 for the Lions still a go?
No.
Yes.
Hey, you know what?
I was shaken last night. I'll admit it. I was shaken last night, but I haven't lost it. Shaken, but the faith remains.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah, that was from
You still can go 11-6. I said 12-5's off the table, not 11-6 though.
Right. Yeah. But you picked 12 before the season.
I did.
Began. I picked 13. 13 is going to be a stretch.
Yeah.
Because that means they got to run the table. We'll talk more about it tomorrow on the Braylon Edwards Show. Great job on the debut by Brendan.
Thank you.
Kool-Aid,
Great job,
happy birthday to your son. And
Thank
thanks
you,
for bringing in your dad and Jeremiah and Joshua. Very, very cool. We appreciate it very much.
Appreciate you guys.
And appreciate you guys joining us in the chat. Hope you're with us tomorrow, 2 to 4 here on the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep,
Do you believe this comeback?
your favorite sports commentator, as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.